some time and space. What does he mean by that? The entire universe has been formed by the confluence of 5 elements, and those 5 elements are also present in our body. For example, the earth element outside, which is seen in the form of mud, rocks, ash, etc., is also present in our body in the form of bones, flesh, etc. Water element is present in the form of saliva, blood, urine, hormones. All these are pertaining to the water element. Space element is present in the space occupied by our organs. There are certain vacuums in our body, like the lung has vacuum which constantly pumps out air and pumps in air, sucks in air and pumps out air. So the entire microcosm and macrocosm is related. Vastu Shastra goes a step further. It relates this entire body with the place you are living in. As I said, this body is made up of 5 elements. And in yoga, there are 6 energy centers in the body, 5 of which are pertaining towards the 5 elements. Similarly, in Vastu, certain places have been allotted to these elements. If we see our body, we cannot differentiate one element from the other. It is a homogeneous structure. Similarly, the entire plot will seem as a homogeneous structure, but there are certain places where a certain element is prominent. So you can see in the diagram that the northeast represents the Jala Tattva, water element. The southeast represents Agni Tattva, fire element. Northwest, the Prithvi Tattva, earth element. And northwest, the Vayu Tattva, that is wind element. The space element or Akash Tattva is represented by the Brahmasthana. The importance of this diagram is that whenever you are allocating any sort of activity, you have to consider the elements in that sector. If the elements of that sector and the functions which are allocated to that sector are not compatible, there are discrepancies which are created in the life of the family members. Sometimes it may be a materialistic sort of discrepancy, like a bad phase in life regarding your job or money matters or social contacts, whereas some serious sort of discrepancies like illnesses or even death sometimes can occur if this is not considered. So this is a very, very important point. So the first important point is the energy flow, and the second most important point is the elements of Vastu, allocation of elements. The third very, very crucial point in Vastu is the furthering of our theory of relation of microcosm and macrocosm. This entire plot is identified with our own body. As our own body has got nerves and their synapses, similarly, the entire plot has been divided into 81 divisions by 10 horizontal and 10 vertical energy lines. The blue lines which are over here are called as nadis. Similarly, we have got nerves in our body, which are called nadis. The intersection of these horizontal and vertical lines, where you can see those yellow dots, they are called upamarmasthanas. These are synapses or synapses, the intersection of two nerves. There are two diagonals and two parallel lines on each alongside each diagonal. These intersect to form the square and these orange dots, 9 dots in total. They are called the Mahamarmasthanas. Mahamarmasthanas are major points or major vital points. And much more important than those are the 6 vital points called the Shan Mahanti. Mahanti is something great. So Shan Mahanti is 6 major vital points. Which are those? Those are the head, the mouth, the heart, the left nipple, right nipple, and the navel of the Vaastu Purusha. What is the significance of this? Whenever you are constructing a house, the plot has to be divided into such divisions, and the nadis, the marmasthanas, the mahamarmas, as well as the Shan Mahanti has to be avoided. They should not be afflicted in any manner. If they are afflicted, that part of the owner of the house suffers from some disease. It is a direct correspondence towards of the plot with the owner of the plot. So if the heart center is afflicted by a pillar or wall, then the owner is likely to suffer from a heart attack or he might develop heart trouble. So what is the way out from this? That during the construction itself, you should consult a proper person and you should avoid these intersections. Okay, so I have finished with the basic principles of Vastu. Now we go towards the functional allocation of rooms, etc. as per these principles. So first issue we address is water storage. Water is very important for life, and it is very important for Vastu also. So we will first see as per this chart. It is very easy for us to determine that the Jala Tattva is present in the northeast. So any major water storage or water bodies in the plot or in the house should be in the northeast sector. But Vastu Shastra has also said that water is also best when placed in north. So north as well as north and northeast are supposed to be the best position for allocating water. Wind element is not an enemy of water. So we are now talking in terms of the compatibility of elements. The wind element is not an enemy of water. So you can place water in the northwest section also. In the west section, when you study traditional Vastu, the midmost section of the west is allocated to a god called Varuna. Varuna is the god of water. So you can place water over there also in the midmost section of west. But care has to be taken that any sort of underground water tanks or wells should not be constructed in the west. They can be constructed in the northwest, north as well as northeast. But any sort of well or underground water tanks are not allowed in the west. Now you can easily discern that the Prithvi Tattva, earth element, and fire element both are opposing water. So any presence of water in these areas leads to a serious health problem. So water storage, may it be overhead tanks or ground, like you have got that we call hauda. So in that people are storing water, or swimming pools. Anything in the southwest sector is definitely not allowed. If there is water storage in the southwest, then the women folk of the family generally suffer from an illness. Similarly, if there is water storage in the southeastern sector, the men in the family suffer from an illness. Sometimes it has got relation with the depression, or sometimes with some dire, financial situations because of which people commit suicide. There have been cases like people, losing their mental balance. And it is generally, it leads to the perishment of the male members of the family. In East, water, some books are promoting that there should be water in the East. But generally it has been seen that if the water is stored in the East, then the progeny of the family is affected. That is, there might be no progeny at all, or there might be only girls, or the progeny which is there might be affected physically. So it is not recommended that you have any sort of water storage in the East. So the most favorable positions for water storage are north, northeast, west, and then northwest. The Brahmasthana should not have water at all. Okay. This these are the basic points. Shall I go forward? Okay. Now we go towards hygiene, personal hygiene, which has toilets as well as bathrooms. They are best located in the middle portion of any direction. So the midmost portions of all these directions are allowed to have toilets or bathrooms. They can also be located in the northwest as well as the northeastern sectors. But in any case, as we have considered in the case of water, they should not be located in the southwest as well as the southeastern sectors. This is because the southwest sector is opposed to water in the first place, and there should not be any kind of depression in this sector. In fact, it should be if it is a plot, it should be a raised portion. So any sort of depression which entails the placement of septic tanks, etc., or drainage pipes in the southwest will definitely create a problem. So you should not have any bathrooms or toilets in the southwest sector as well as the southeast sector. Okay. Now we have seen in the first point about the geographical consideration that wind position goes from southwest to northeast. The wind blows from southwest to northeast. So if you place the toilets over here, here or here, then generally the direction of the wind will carry away any sort of there will be no sort of air, polluted air over there. Okay, if septic tanks etc. are placed over here, the wind blowing from here will carry away the smell. Otherwise, if they are kept over here or here, then the entire day you will have to suffer. So they are best placed in the northern or western sector. Another advantage of keeping toilets in the western sector are that from the morning itself the house starts getting heated due to the sun's rays, and when the sun sets over here through the west, it receives maximum light and heat from the sun, so the toilets automatically remain dry and disinfected. So that is the advantage of keeping the toilets in the west.